Welcome to part 2 of our interview with Pavel Malakhov. Here, he shares how he overcomes hardship, what motivates him, and his very exciting project to make Helena Blavatsky's work available for free in multiple languages online.
By understanding Theosophy, we understand that we are the one, that we are actually not separated so much. This is what Theosophy is about for me. So Theosophy is saving the world, but it's saving the world in under the different names. It not just Theosophy. Theosophy is just one of the name of this ancient wisdom or universal wisdom. It's a Greek word, but there are different nations which do not use Greek, and they use their own language, their own terms, and it's still Theosophy. For me, it's like this.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. I feel like it makes people realize gradually our common heritage and that we are all one, essentially, right? And throughout what you have said so far, I realize you have delved very deep into the study of Theosophy, and also what you have just said showed that you care a lot about the service side, the coming together as one, helping our fellow men realize that we are our own salvation. I want to find out from you, in what way have study, meditation, and service, the three pillars of Theosophy, been intertwined in your life?
As I consider myself as a thinker more than a, I don't know, doer by hands. So my most work is intellectual work, mental work. I was asking myself, what can I do for the world in my little perspective, in my own little view, to make it suffer less than it suffers now. Because it's really touched me, and it is touching me now when I look at the internet and watch some TV program, well, internet interview or news or so on. And I see that there are huge dramatic events all around the world where 1,000 people die, where the 1,000 people, 100,000 people suffer from different places of the world, from different kind of disease, from different kind of abuses. I was asking myself, what can I do for these people to make them suffer less? And that's how I came to the idea after Buddha, Gautama Buddha. How could I change this ignorance, which makes so much suffering? And that's how I was applying this to my life. I was trying to study different books, Theosophy as a philosophy, and I was trying to get this essence of Theosophy to make it for the people more understandable, to make it profitable for them, to make it useful for them. Because philosophy is a pretty hard thing for people to understand. So we need to somehow make it easier, make it understandable. And that's what I'm doing for several years, for several decades. I'm trying to make the teaching of Theosophy more understandable for other people. And I see how it changes people. They think different, they act different, because they understand the world different. And I felt that on my own. I felt the world different when I was understanding how it works. For me, as an intellectual person, it is very important to understand what's happening. And I was trying to understand it from the secret doctrine, from the HPB works, and I got the idea that the way Theosophy puts the worldview is the most productive. It is very good for us, for me, to make it possible for other people to understand what Theosophy talks about. That's why I was for several decades writing lectures, meeting with people, answering their questions, put different examples of their life, of my life, of other people's life, so they could understand how we're supposed to live. It is hard to live according to our ideals, but we should try. And by this trying, we can cease the suffering. That's what I think, that's what I believe, and that's what I try to bring for other people.
Thank you. And we would like to maybe throw some light on theosophical life in Russia. What do you think is peculiar for being a theosophist in our country, and about theosophical life in Russia? Could you maybe expand a little bit on that?
Well, I think generally Russian theosophists is not very much different from other people. Yes, there are some peculiar things. For example, our Soviet Union doctrine is the one who deny anything except the physical world. It puts some background to our thinking. For example, we do not veiled by any religious doctrine, because for some people it is real hard to overcome the veil of, or the shadows or the cover of the religious doctrine. Well, there was a doctrine as well in the Soviet Union, but it wasn't so hard to overcome this because it denied everything that we do not sense. Materialistic, regular materialistic view. So materialistic, before this Soviet Union, we had the Orthodox Russian Church, which had, well, dramatic influence into the thinkers in our country. So the Soviet Union made this easier to overcome this Orthodox viewing. That was the plus, that was the benefit of my childhood and my adult age. And other people, I think, well, at least when I was communicating with other people, they noticed this difference. Most of Russian people do not have religious background, and that made easier for the new doctrine to come, for the new philosophy to come.
My mom grew up in communist China for several years in her youth. Mao was still the leader. She did mention, so I can sort of relate what she said with what you said about it's easy to overcome the obstacles of Orthodox religion, yes, or any kind of fundamental religion, religious doctrines. Yeah, so I guess there's good and bad to everything.
Yes,
And
of course.
following from that, I would like to find out how you get through challenging times. How did Theosophy help you through that? Growing up in your society, for example.
When I was thinking about how the world is, how it runs, I came to the idea that the theosophical point of view is the most profound, the most useful in my application in my life. Maybe not the same with other Russian theosophists, but I was trying to make my life according to my ideals. That was the idea that I got from HPB, and it was very close to me. She said that we should live the way we believe, and that was very close to my understanding, and that's why I started to change my life. And as every person who started to change its life according to his ideals or her ideals, we came to the position where old people or other people who were surrounding us, they go their own way, and we are somehow separate from uh, from the environment we are used to, and got to the another environment, another maybe place, or maybe the same place but another people, another group of people who represent our new point of view. And that's how I was moved from my previous uh, friends and came to the people who are asking themselves what the world is and what we should do. All these simple questions we were discussing all over and over. And since our focus was changing and moved through the our consciousness from the physical world to the spiritual world, the difficult circumstances in our country, which we experiencing there, passed by without hurting much, I would say. There were difficult times, yes. We had problems with food, even in my family. We were not very rich. Many people had problems with the food. Not just we didn't have anything to eat, but we couldn't afford to eat what we were used to in Soviet Union, or we would like to eat. We didn't recognize the problem in this situation. We just moved through this because changing the understanding what is really worthy in this world, what we should pay attention to. This different focus of our attention helped us to live through the difficult times. And that's part of Theosophy I see in my life.
Great, thank you for sharing. And speaking about difficulties and speaking about a lot of work that you do for Theosophical Society and for the teaching and otherwise also, what is it that keeps you going? What is your motivation?
Yes, this is very important point, because before Theosophy, I was living on the surface, I would say, and after Theosophy, I was living more inside, more on the deeper way, more with eternal goals. Before this, I was moved by the external goals, like anything material. After that, I was putting myself and every day of my existence to the eternal place, to the eternal environment. And from this eternal point of view, every day is not very important, I would say. Every single achievement is not so important. And with Theosophy, I changed the plane of my being. From that point of view, or from the time that I understood how the man is, how many planes we are in, and we live in these planes every second, I moved myself from the physical plane to the upper planes, to the spiritual plane. And with this attitude, I don't see any failure. Even if I have some difficulties, even something doesn't come out, it's not a fail. I will overcome any difficulty in my life, maybe not in this incarnation, but sooner or later it will be overcome anyhow. So, and this point of view I took from the Theosophy. That's how I understand Theosophy. That's how the Theosophy changed me. So there are not really hard times. There are maybe hard time for the current period, but it will end and we will keep going. Even if we die, we'll still keep going.
Like decorations
Yes.
on the way that we pass.
Yes. Yes. Dying is just a part of the process.
Wonderful.
That's a beautiful view to keep in mind on a day-to-day basis. And I feel like that's what's so special about Theosophy. It is something that it's a truth that we live every day. And it
Yes.
helps to see, from an eternal point of view. I'm
Yes.
curious, how do you practice sort of it takes a lot of awareness, I feel like, to keep your mind on the eternal side of life, of living. Do you have like a meditation routine, a style of meditation, or that you prefer, or and how do you practice awareness, for example? Maybe could you share a bit of that with us?
Mhm. In my practice, I practice meditation as a constant work, I would say. Spreading theosophy in the way that people will understand it. And in this, my goal, I see any time which I spend on my own self-transformation as a waste of time. It's for me. It's not about the meditation at all. So some people need to concentrate, meditate, and do self-transformation for the purposes they have. I'm just talking about my purposes. My purpose for this life, as I understood it, is as I see how life gives me opportunities to what I can do and what she puts away from my way. I'm trying to notice these moments of life when something offers to me, and when life gives a hint that this is not for you or not for now. And I'm trying to follow these hints. And according to these hints only, I would say that I trying to keep my projects running. And it takes a lot of time. And it takes a lot of concentration. Not the kind of meditation we can follow on the other with other trainers or people who meditate and teach us how to meditate. I'm just answering my way. I'm just answering for what I experience. So in my experience, in my way, I try to put all my time in the project running.
Yes. What does it mean to be a Theosophist for you?
For me, it is a life, or their life, according to how you understand your life. For me, it's actually being a theosophist is living in the way you would like to be, living in your ideal way, living on your highest achievement, on your highest expectations, on your highest thinking level. It's what trying to be at this highest level is to be theosophist. And I know some people think that they insist that we cannot call ourselves theosophists because we are not perfect. Well, it's not what I mean by theosophist. We couldn't be perfect until the seventh race of the seventh round. It's always something to improve. So for me, theosophist is not a perfect man. For me, it is the one who trying to apply everything he thinks worthful uh, uh, to his or her life. And when a man or a woman doing all he can or she can to this, I think he or she could be called theosophist.
Thank you.
I think you.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that living the way you want and following your highest ideals is like a definition of freedom for me. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, same here. I think that I really resonate with what you said about living out our highest ideal. And work seems to be like a meditation to you. Work itself is
Yes.
meditation, and I feel like one interpretation of meditation would be that it is when you give yourself, like all of yourself, with one point of focus to what you're doing, or to something in particular. It can be called meditation, like when you're playing the piano, when you're doing your work of spreading theosophy and theosophical texts and all that. So that's very inspiring, and thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have published, and you have published over 50 articles and lectured extensively. So what is one topic that you enjoy writing about or talking about the most?
I would say that everything about secret doctrine and HPB. I really enjoy these topics, because for me HPB is a very productive person to make us think about this world as a very different place, about very different from our understanding. We can see through her biography when she is a wise woman, when she is very unwise woman, when she is very intellectual, when she is very sensitive, and all the things she combined in one person. It's very interesting to watch, to study, to learn how she could do this. And besides, she was a cello, or she was a pupil, the student of masters. And this is a very rare situation where we can watch how pupils or cellos behave, what they do, what tasks they apply, what they how do they communicate with the masters, how do they communicate with other people, how do they try to conduct the tasks they have, how do they bring to the public, and what do they hide, and why do they hide, and why do they bring to the public. So all the things that she did is interesting for me, because this is part of our inner life. This is part of what we are finally everybody will come to this point where we can communicate with masters and do some of works that they will give us. And we would, for me, not we maybe, but I would like to be prepared for this. My articles are about the questions I hear from the surrounding, from the people who I communicate to, and they ask me something to explain. I'm trying to explain them. They partly understand, partly not. And that's why after several discussions, I sit at my home, put a list between me and the book or screen, and trying to make the idea the most understandable. So I put several diagrams. I put different passages from different books. I combine them. I compare them. I choose from them. I write in different, the same idea in different synonyms. I use antonyms. I use, different images to express the idea. And that's how article come out.
That's great. And then you have a collection of questions that people often ask that accumulates over the course of years, and also the answers that are very well thought through, that you keep in your mind. That's I think
Yes.
a great idea.
And it's a service. I would like to be very useful for other people. That's how I write the articles, and that's how I choose the topics. Besides topics, we run in our branch, TS branch, we run every month a round table where we choose the topic and discuss it in the public. And for the for my turn, I always choose the topic which I was heard as a very interesting for other people. I do not try to express myself or my thoughts on just what I'm interested in. I'm trying to find the topic which will be interesting for other people, and I put a round table on this topic. So it's part of service. And as I understand it, this kind of behavior, this kind of acting is very, very productive for myself, because trying to answer for other people's question, I get my consciousness wider. I think differently on the same subject. I couldn't come to these thoughts on my own. I only came to the conclusions I have put in my article or in a talk just because other people asked me, just because they didn't understand something, and they were trying to understand and asked me, and I was trying to explain. And by doing this, I had to think differently, and this thinking differently makes my consciousness more flexible.
I would like to find out from you, because you have been, through your articles, through answering people's questions about helping to clarify their doubts and all that. How have you sort of come to a higher understanding yourself?
Yes, that's what I found about this work. At the first time, I was just trying to answer to the people's question. But pretty soon, I noticed that I understand the subject better. When I'm trying to answer, I understand the subject we discuss better. For myself, I improve my knowledge by answering, by searching for different images, different diagrams to present to that person which I'm talking to. And by doing all this, I understand the topic better, wider, deeper, and I found it very interesting. And pretty soon I came to the idea that any dialogue which I participate in, I'm trying to provoke people to explain their thought in different ways, to improve what they think or they say, to prove it, improve and prove what they say. And I'm trying to listen to people, let other people to speak out when they say everything they think, and I do not disturb them. I'm just helping them to finish their thought, maybe put some questions that they could finish their thought. I understood that people are basically have some logic in what they say and what they think. They have some logic. It is not it is not maybe common, it is not maybe my logic, but they do follow some logic. And when I see their logic, I can widen my consciousness and include their logic in my perspective, in my point of view.
Thank you very much for sharing that. That is very interesting and very thought-provoking. Now, probably we are approaching the end of the interview. Would you like to share about the projects that you wanted to share? And then I suggest at the very end just one last question that we often ask our guests, and we will wrap it up.
I came to the idea that we need to popularize, to make more recognizable HPB worldwide, to put her works on as much languages as we can. I would like to make her works, because I think they are very important for the humanity. I would like to share her works on many languages openly, without any restriction, to read, to copy, to share. That's why pretty soon in 2031, in 7 years. There will be a great event. There will be an anniversary, 200 from HPB's birthday. So it's pretty good anniversary, pretty good date for us to think about what we can do to this date. So according having this work done in Russian and partly in English, with combining all her works in one place and interconnect them, I would like to start the project. Well, I already made some moves toward this, that we can gather all the works of her translated in different languages in one place, openly and freely distributed among everybody, and interconnect them with the hyperlinks. So any man or woman who understands several languages could compare different translations, could see the original language, could maybe participate in translation, and so on. So to the year 2031, I would like to have all HPB's work in English, in Russian, and those two languages I can participate in. But to this, I would like to put some other languages as well. We already have in TIPD every instrument which allow us to do this. We just need more people to participate in the project in different countries. And the important thing is translations should be freely distributed. Because commercial is good. It is good to print books. We need money to print books. I understand this. But it prevents us to share her works openly. And we live in an internet society which demand this digital information openly. So I would suggest, maybe through you, through people who you know, who knows these works of her in their own language, and they know that it is free, or maybe they are translators themselves and they can do some translations to their native language. Well, please share your work with us. We could add this to the database and share it openly. That's my suggestion, my proposal for the Theosophists around the world.
That's very meaningful work, and I'm sure everyone who is listening to this will be very inspired, and hopefully there are lots of translators out there who are also part of the TS or Theosophists who are willing to help. Yeah, and we really look forward to this online platform where her works can be distributed accessed freely in many different languages. That would be really cool.
I think so.
Thank you. And so what do you think is the future of the TS and also WFYT, the World Federation of Young Theosophists?
Well, I think we have a very beautiful future. We have seventh round ahead us, the seventh root race, where everybody will be brothers and sisters, or even without sexual differences, we will be one, and this is our future. But there are some steps to this future which we have to come over, which we have to walk on our own legs, and Theosophy gives us this opportunity to understand how to make those steps without very difficult decisions. Because when we have such a high goal as a universal brotherhood, every difficulty is pretty small. It is just, as I said, is an obstacle for a short period, maximum for the one life, but it still will end, and we will keep going. So Theosophy have a good future. And we all, I think, could assume ourselves as a youth, because our body is not we are, as you know. And the age of our body dramatically comes to the death. Each arise and comes to the death. But inside, if you ask old people, they feel themselves as young people. So they're still in the youth age, the young souls, young spirits. And that's what I feel as well. My biological age, I already cannot be considered as a youth, but on inside, I'm very happy. I'm very happy as a child, maybe. I feel myself pretty much youth. I feel myself pretty much eternal soul, which has no age. And well, I would say I will finish here.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Thank you very much for sharing with us, for telling us about your experience and sharing very precious ideas with us, with our listeners. And I hope and I'm sure that everyone who listens will feel inspiration and the light of Theosophy. Well, with our humble, very small ability, we try, all of us, we try to spread.
Thank you for your work.
Yeah.
I think this sharing experience work that you are running is very, very helpful for people.
See you. See you
Yes,
soon.
goodbye.
Yeah, see you,
Take care.
Pavel.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Theosophical Insights. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms as well as on YouTube. Like and subscribe to our podcast for more episodes. Also, you can visit the website of the WFYT, the World Federation of Young Theosophists, to find out more about the podcast and other projects we're doing. Till next time.